Hello everybody, welcome to the weekly bump, which is a weekly pick a card tarot card reading for the week of August 22nd. Thank you so much for being here. This week, as always, we have 3 piles. We are using all Aura Quartz this week. Pile 1, we're using the blue. Pile 2, we are using the purple. And pile 3, we are using the yellow. So go ahead and take a moment. If you normally feel intuitively drawn toward a pile, now would be an excellent time to pause the video to kind of feel your way through this. If you don't usually feel intuitively drawn, that's perfectly okay. I always say you can just randomly pick a pile and it's highly probable that there will be a message in there for you somewhere. Just timestamps for each pile will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. All right, see you in just a sec. Okay, pile number 1, you selected the blue Aura Quartz. So let's go ahead and give these cards a quick shuffle and see what comes through for you for this week. Okay, got the deck here. 8 of Swords, High Priestess reversed, Karma, which is like the Judgment card in a traditional tarot, Ace of Coins reversed, 5 of Wands, and the King of Wands. I'm getting an element of pride down here with this King of Wands. This could be you, or it could be somebody that you're dealing with. Although I don't think it's necessarily a bad pride. You know, it's not like being so blind and so arrogant at the same time. It's just more like, I'm not going to give up, or I am not going to let this defeat me, or I am not going to listen to other people's opinions when I know this is best for me, right? It's kind of that kind of pride. Because I'm feeling like there's been a release from something, right? 8 of Swords. You were in a place that was very trapped. You were in a place where you were suffocated, or you couldn't see your way out. You were trapped in a paradigm of some kind. And yet here is Karma, or the Judgment card, which is coming to release or set you free to some degree. And I think when you go through that, when you go through being someone who has been trapped, and I use that word openly, so it could be mentally or it could be circumstantial. But when you are trapped and you find your way toward a place of freedom or release, there is this call toward greater determination in general. I feel like, because I'm looking at this 5 of Wands here, and I'm definitely feeling chaos or argumentativeness, frustration, projection, all those kinds of things as a result of the pride and the honor and the dignity. Maybe this is more you. Because it's like once you've gone through something and you've found your way out, you become more unstoppable. You become more potent. Your energy, your essence becomes stronger and more definitive. And I'm getting a sense that you are happier. You're getting happier. Your life is becoming more simple and more direct. There aren't all these random detours so much anymore. You're now feeling aligned. But that process of getting aligned was it was a lot, right? That process of getting aligned was a lot. And you had to make a lot of mistakes, and you did make a lot of mistakes. And actually now when you see others making mistakes, it's more and more obvious. It's more and more clear. With the High Priestess reverse, I feel like things are more transparent now than they have ever been, at least for you. You know, it's transparent when someone is in pain. It's transparent when someone is insecure. You know, all of these fronts or these masks that people put on, they just really fall short from your you know, your higher vision. You see clearly because you've been there. And you understand the fakeness versus the realness of somebody and someone's life and someone's perception of their own life. I'm getting a feeling you're kind of calling people out on stuff, not unsolicited though. I don't see you just saying things. Okay, we have to kind of just acknowledge the fact that this past week, not this upcoming week, and I know this is for the week of August 22nd, but the sun right now is almost in Virgo, okay? And the sun has been, over the past 7 days, been in a yod pattern with Neptune and Pluto, making the sun that primary point. It's called the finger of God kind of configuration. Some of you may have one of those in your charts. And the point of that is usually like a destiny point. So when our sun is involved, there is this sense of self, sense of autonomy, sense of independence, sense of strength and self-sufficiency that is in self-expression that's really, really strong and really important. And so you may feel more like yourself than you really ever have, or you have in a long time anyway. Feeling like you've really come back to something that's rooted and grounded and strong. And with that, you'll be able to launch a lot of new things. You'll be able to embark upon new endeavors and new ventures and all that kind of thing. You'll be able to do all of that without a lot of the fear that may have been there before, without a lot of the wavering. And I think that in a way, life has become a lot less serious, right? Because I think when you free yourself from the things that make life so serious, life becomes more enjoyable, it becomes more fun, and you become a lot more untouchable in that way. And you can let people freak out, and you can let things fall through, right? Ace of Coins reversed. You can let things be delayed or let things come in their own time. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of stress because there's a knowingness. There's a knowingness that it will work. There's a knowingness that it will happen. A knowingness that everything is going to be okay. And when you come from that place of knowing, there really isn't anything that can really bring you down, especially not other people's lack of self-awareness. When you start looking at people who do not have any level of self-awareness whatsoever, and they are projecting and they are pushing stuff onto you, and they are making their life a lot harder than they need to be, I think that all you can really feel is compassion because you've been there. And you also know that there's really nothing you can do or say to make that person get out of their own trap. You can't make them see that those awakening moments are merely delivered to us in their own time. So you don't try to really help people unless they really want to be helped. I think you're in a position to walk away from a lot. You're in a position to leave behind. You're in a position to I don't know, I'm kind of getting this envision of you walking away in the sunset, right? There's just like a silhouette, like you're just leaving so much behind. And I think you can feel that. You can really tell a lot of the chaos, a lot of the drama, a lot of the misunderstandings and the miscommunications and the misinterpretation. I just don't know that you have room for that in your life anymore. And I think you've gone through a period of time where you've gotten really, really real with yourself, and you're going to continue to just force other people to be real with themselves. Not everyone likes that, but that's probably the best contribution that you can make right now. So there's strength. And as we make our way into Virgo season, that strength will carry over into productivity and efficiency. And I think your ability to communicate and to delegate and to set expectations and set boundaries is going to be pretty substantive, pretty exciting. Let's pull out a couple of oracles. come to the edge. You know, this is actually a Leo card right here. And we are just finishing up Leo season today. And I am sensing an extreme, right? You are really pushing yourself to that limit for yourself. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing all of this because you know that it is ultimately in your best interest. A King of Wands wouldn't do anything if he didn't think it was in his best interest. He's not just going to sit there and, he's not going to sit there and like, I don't know, he's not going to hurt himself, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. He's not going to hurt himself, but he is going to push, and he's going to put himself in some uncomfortable situations and put other people in uncomfortable situations too, for the sake of ultimate growth. Sweet results await with the bee spirit. I love that. Yes, moving forward toward the land of milk and honey. There is reward here for you, absolutely. This person that you're becoming, in a way, it feels both like you're becoming harder, meaning like your shell, your exterior is becoming, more like armor, like more like a warrior, but at the same time, you are also softer and lighter than you've ever been. So it's this incredible strength of both the masculine and feminine coming together and really being the best of themselves within you as an individual entity. And that will serve you very, very well with the endeavors that you are just now embarking upon and will continue to embark upon throughout the course of the year. Okay, really beautiful, pile one. You guys know I love you. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys selected the purple aura quartz. So let's go ahead and shuffle these cards here and see what comes through for you guys. Okay. 7 of Swords reversed, Ace of Swords, 9 of Swords reversed, 4 of Swords, 4 of Wands and 6 of Coins, both reversed. Okay. So this week, I think there is going to be a change, of course, but in the best way, the best possible way. But it is going to not be the most stable or the most smooth. I do think there may be a few little hiccups along the way. But I think you know exactly where you're going and you know exactly what you're doing. The thing that's been kind of cool about the past couple of months is I haven't really seen a lot of doubt. I haven't seen a lot of confusion or a lot of wishy-washy hemming and hawing and trying to decide and all of that. I haven't seen it. If you're experiencing a lot of confusion, it's probably only because you're just not admitting to yourself what it is that you really want. But you're not confused. And you maybe you have reasons as to why you think you can't have something or as to why you think you can't move in a specific direction, but you're not confused. And I think what's happening is that this 9 of Swords, maybe stress, maybe anxiety, maybe there has been a few too many reasons why not to do things. And I'm not saying they're not legitimate, like things like, well, I have children, of course, that's a good enough reason to make sure that you're, not putting yourself in dire straits. But right now, I think those reasons are looking a little bit more like excuses. And I think you can feel that shift happening now. You can feel yourself just kind of like leaving a narrative behind and walking your way, finding your way closer to clarity, which means that something big has to evolve. Now, with Mars coming into Gemini, and the sun moving into Virgo, this is an excellent time for transitions because these are both mutable signs. We have Jupiter in cardinal Aries, and we have a new moon coming up here in the next few days in Virgo. So the mutability quality, and it's not just mutable. Like if this was Pisces or Sag, I don't know that I would necessarily be saying this, but this is Virgo and Gemini, which is both Mercury ruled, and Mercury can turn on a dime. Boom. He's like the fastest moving planet aside from the moon. He can turn on a dime. He can make a lot of things happen. He's highly adaptable. And I think you know that that's where you're at. Like if you make this tower happen and you uproot something of stability within your life for the sake of the potential of something greater, and if you make some kind of a sacrifice, right? 6 of Coins reverse, if you make some kind of a sacrifice, then you know in your heart of hearts that you will be able to maneuver in such a way that success is inevitable. And you know that. And I know that you know that, right? Ace of Swords. We're all on the same page here, right? Anyone who is fighting against something that's good for them wants to be a victim. And I don't think any of you want to be a victim right now. You're coming to that place of empowerment. You're coming into that place of unstoppability. Now, you may not be taking these actions this week. I think many of you, this is more mental with that Ace of Swords and all the swords up here, right? 7 of Swords reverse, 9 of Swords reverse. It's all mental. And you have to get your mind on board, because if your mind is not on board, your body is going to struggle with taking the actions that are necessary. So, legitimately admitting and allowing yourself to want and allowing yourself to indulge in the thoughts of change, okay? Sometimes that's kind of hard to do, to indulge in thought, because it's in thought that we experience most of our resistance. But if you just sit there and say, like, I'm going to let myself daydream about this, right? I'm going to let myself want this. I'm going to let myself feel connected to this path or feel connected to this outcome. I'm going to allow myself to really just be in this and familiarize myself with this concept for me in my life. We do have Mercury right now in an opposition with Neptune. Now, Mercury is going to be making its way into Libra and then doing a retrograde on September 4th. Okay, so Mercury is starting to slow down, but he is still in opposition with Neptune, which absolutely does add to that dreaminess. You may have been having some lucid dreams. It adds to the imagination. So this is something that we can truly lean into and use, kind of sending out signals to the cosmos of what it is that we ultimately are wanting. So don't be afraid to radicalize your own dreams, right? Because sometimes we even limit our dreams to what's quote unquote realistic, but from a cosmic standpoint, everything is realistic. From a quantum standpoint, everything is realistic. Everything is realistic and everything is possible. So to not limit and to indulge can actually radically change your path. Now, there may be some kind of a sacrifice, right? 6 of Coins reverse, where there does need, now a big theme for August was reallocation, right? Taking all the resources from one pot and moving it into another pot for the sake of growing this one. So you may find yourself in that position where you are needing to reallocate right now. And that's perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. If you do need to do that, and I was going to say a phrase, but now I can't remember the phrase. Anyway, that's fine to reallocate in that way, rededicate energy to new areas and new ideas. Okay, let's go ahead and pull out some oracles for you. Starting with the wisdom of the oracle, we have mending. I actually think that there was a point in time when you were strictly aligned, and then you came out of alignment for a little while, and this is the process of you coming back. So you're kind of mending your relationship with your own trajectory, mending your relationship with your own self by coming into coherence, by truly listening to yourself, and by allowing your head and heart to come into the same frequency. So you are mending something that was once intact, but is now broken, but now will be useful once again. Feel like you're coming back to yourself. The coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. It may feel like a detour. I don't think it's a detour at all. It's exactly the path. It's exactly what is needed of you, and it's exactly what you know you need to do. And I think this is a beautiful moment in time for you to just sort of release and let go and allow the mercurial energy of Virgo and Gemini to really just take you into this incredible new place that you deserve to be. Okay? All right, pile 2, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best. Take care. Hello, pile number 3. You guys selected the yellow aura quartz. So let's go ahead and see what this pile has for you. So let's see here. Go ahead and split the deck. King of Swords reversed, 4 of Coins. Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, interesting. I feel like there are 2 people, right? King of Swords, Queen of Cups. And both are kind of stuck or stubborn. 4 of Coins in the middle. Maybe, perhaps there's some negotiation that people are not unwilling to compromise on. Maybe there's a conversation or an issue that you're dealing with someone else. And you're both kind of not necessarily willing to compromise something in order to accommodate the other person. Now, I do think this will be a temporary or a short-term kind of situation. We do have the death showing up, which does indicate the end and transformation of a situation. So that's at least a positive there. This could be a really frustrating experience, though. Like if 2 people just really aren't seeing eye to eye. Now, this could also be internally within yourself, where your head is saying one thing and your heart is saying another. And there may be a little bit of resistance for either one to budge, right? So you have 2 very stubborn parts of yourselves that are kind of trying to get you to go in 2 different directions. And it may seem like you're just getting torn in half a little bit. Maybe you have a decision that you need to make, maybe there's 2 job offers, or there are, do I do this or do I do that types of things. And the answers just aren't really coming right now. And actually with the Page of Cups in the reversal, I'm almost kind of getting a feeling that you're not even really getting any signs, right? Sometimes we look for signs. Well, if this is the right decision for me, give me a sign or a synchronicity or, some sort of guidance. And maybe you just really aren't receiving that right now. And that's maybe one of the reasons why it's hard to kind of get pulled one way or the other. If you are dealing with another person, someone external from you, communication might be really hard as well. It may seem like you're kind of going in circles, or, this may have a lot to do with the fact that Mercury is in shadow this week and making his way into his retrograde. He's slowing way down over the next couple of weeks. Right now, he's currently in an opposition with Neptune as well, so that may be somewhat problematic. Now, I think the way to solve this, okay, because it's one thing we could sit here and talk about the issue all day long, but the way to really solve this or to get out of this situation, right, to allow this circumstance to die off and to transform and morph into something that is more expansive and more useful, I'm seeing it with this 9 of Wands reverse. Because I wonder if there are resistances to seeing it from someone else's perspective. Because if you do allow yourself to see it from someone else's perspective, and when I say see it, I know intellectually you can see it from someone else's, standpoint. It's not about the kind of more superficial aspect of that, but it's like to really see it and understand it intrinsically from their perspective. And it's maybe one of those things where both of you know, like, well, if I do come from that more compassionate place, then maybe I'm really not going to get what I want. Because it means that maybe it will become less important to me. Sometimes that can be hard because maybe you feel like something is important to you because it may feel like a destiny, or it may feel like something that you just really want to experience. And maybe you don't want to lose that because maybe it drives you, maybe it motivates you, it gives you ambition, it gives you a reason to kind of get up and go. And maybe without that, you'll feel a little disconnected or a little bit lost, and you don't want that either. But I do think that to solve the issue is to get these barriers and these walls down. Especially with the King of Swords reversed. I feel like the King of Swords reversed can be a very chilly energy, right? Very cold. In Northern Hemisphere, right? This is a card of Aquarius, which is, late January, early February, which is like by far the coldest time of the year. So I'm feeling like someone is going quite cold. Maybe they're shutting off, and maybe it is even your mind being brutally rational, right? Or being brutally logical. It's not really making space for that more heartfelt argument. You're trying to deny the heart space a little bit. But it's a protection mode, I think. I think it's either you yourself or it's you with someone else. There is a protection mode. Now, with the yellow, it's interesting that you chose yellow as its connection with the solar plexus chakra, right? That third chakra there, which does have a lot to do with courage and bravery and expression and creativity and kind of enjoyment and joy as a whole. And so I'm wondering if courage isn't a little bit of a theme here, and it actually bringing down the walls is a courageous act, stepping out of the logical and the rational. Now, I know Mercury is still going direct technically, but as a pre-shadow, as he's in shadow phase, right, there's still kind of those Mercury retrograde themes coming in. And with the opposition with Neptune, this is pure abstraction. So operating more in the abstract, not to mention we do have Venus still in Leo as well. And so that, it's kind of like the Venus in Leo and the Mars in Gemini. Mars in Gemini wants to be logical, but Venus in Leo wants to be passionate and unpredictable, and that Mercury in shadow is not really helping either side right now. He's just kind of like, I'm doing my own thing, you guys figure it out. So the action of Mars wanting to move in a straight line, Venus in Leo wanting to be more heartfelt and more invigorated, it's like two totally different things. And the coming together of those things really requires an acknowledgement of both. In fact, actually, if this is two different people, I do feel that there is a solution for both of you to win without having to give up too much for the sake of compromise. For some reason, I'm feeling like a compromise is like a loss where both of you lose. And I don't know that that's really the best solution right now. And a compromise within yourself is going to maintain that incoherence, which is also a loss. So it's not about compromise so much as it is about finding a solution that satisfies everyone and everything involved in this. And I think that will come in time. Death is here to guarantee a transformation or a crossover of some kind. And it may take time though. So I don't know that this solution is necessarily going to come out like this week. You may need to just sort of cool your jets a little bit, breathe, and allow time to kind of do its work that it needs to do and bring the right people in the right places and the right things into alignment for you so that you can, move forward more wholeheartedly with a greater sense of excitement for what is to come. I think any resistance right now is probably an indication that the solution in front of you is not the ideal solution, and that you would rather hold out for something better. Something that, like, when it comes in, you're like, heck yes, this is absolutely it, 100%, you know? And I do think that's on its way. All right. So it's a matter of being patient and allowing this disconnected moment to just be what it is. I don't know that you have to work to like come together right now. That will just change as the stars change and evolve, right? And I do think that once Mercury enters into Libra in the next few days here, that the communication may flow a little bit better, even though Mercury is still in shadow. But at least it's off of that opposition with Neptune, and Libra can be a lot more accommodating and more, well, maybe not accommodating is the right word, but more like of a mediator kind of energy where you can absolutely bring things back into balance. Okay? Let's go ahead and pull out a couple of oracles. Okay, clearly that one. Milk and honey, beautiful. See, there is a really high quality solution there for you, a high quality path, a high quality option. There's, and I said this in July and I said it in August, and I'm going to keep saying it. I'll say it here. All the things that are sort of percolating right now are leading you to incredibly lucrative outcomes. All right. You don't need to push. You don't need to force. You don't need to make anything be other than what it appears or other than what it is. It's all leading you in the right direction. Just keep going. And then we have the spider spirit, make your dreams real. I don't think compromising is the right ingredient for making your dreams real. In fact, actually that Venus in Leo is holding us to extraordinary high standards. And even the North Node in Taurus as well. It's saying it's got to be the best. Has to be the best for us, and it has to be the best for our partners or our other people. It has to be something that we both can thrive in, and otherwise it's just simply not worth doing. It has to be special and unique and one of a kind, and it has to make us truly shine. And that Virgo, as the sun moves into Virgo tonight, that sun in Virgo is absolutely going to like spark that more strategizing energy. We're going to be more problem solving oriented. And we may not come up with answers right away, but we'll certainly be open to those answers. All right. So making your dreams real is what's really happening right now, so long as you do not give up on them. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you guys so much. You know how much I love you. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.